5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. Is someone in here with me? You're not going to shut the door on me, are you?
A male voice just said, "You better."
Who's in here?
Okay.
We're doing this one. You want to wait?
We are at the historic Graestone Manor Bed and Breakfast in Gasport, New York. Alright, before I let you play with the pendulum, can you spin this cup one more time for me? Almost there!
Horses here. What was the name of some of the horses?
I heard a male voice go, "Hoo, hoo, hoo."
That's Andrew in the bed. Can you tell him his name?
Male voice just came through and said either Andrew or and you.
A lot of you said to go to the cemetery together. I am all for it. These two are a little iffy because there's a possible Wendigo running in the woods out there. Best case scenario, it's a mountain lion. Welcome, folks, to a very special Who's Ghost Stories. I don't want to say episode, because I don't know how many episodes this is going to be. Could be 1, could be 5, could be 16. Really don't know. We are at the historic Graestone Manor Bed and Breakfast in Gasport, New York. We are very grateful to be here. It is incredibly haunted. Spirits are already trying to interact with us and mess with us a little bit, so I am very pumped and excited to get in here. By now, you should know I am Reiki Master and Medium Andrew Huzar of Huzar Reiki and Readings. With me is paranormal enthusiast and cryptid expert Professor Alex Wheaton, and we have the always beautiful director of photography and upgraded to cowgirl today with us cowboys, my wife, Megan Huzar. This is her first investigation of any kind, so we are really pumped to have her here too. There's a lot of history here, so we're not going to really dive into it like we normally do. We learned about it for like an hour about, so.
Yeah. About 45 minutes we walked around and got to hear the history of the property before we are let loose on our investigation, which you'll be pretty much seeing a whole lot of.
Yeah, we've got access to the whole area, so we're going to do things a little differently. We got a whole lot more tools. You got normal tools. We're going to set up some static cams wherever we are. So like if we're investigating this floor first, we're going to put one where we were told there's a lot of shadow activity to kind of keep things open, keeping a lookout. I know a lot of you said to go to the cemetery together. I am all for it. These two are a little iffy because there's a possible Wendigo running in the woods out there. Best case scenario, it's a mountain lion. Which cryptid experts out there, alien big cat, should come out here. But very excited to get out here. See what we do first. Alex, anything you want to say before we get started?
No, as Andrew said, who knows how many episodes this is going to be, but this is really exciting. Both Andrew and I have been looking forward to this since it started in the works quite a while ago. So this is exciting, and what do we have, like essentially 4 or 5 hours just completely on property. So yeah, there's going to be plenty of footage, lots of stuff, and yeah, hopefully you enjoy our videos.
Doll, you want to say anything to everybody? Nope, she is silent rage right now. So I think that's enough chit chat.
Yeah,
let's go ahead and get to it.
Hey everyone, thank you for checking out this episode of Who's Ghost Stories. As you read, this is part 1 of our time at Graestone Manor. So I'm very happy I finally got part of it done. Hopefully, this means next week and the week after we'll feature more parts, however many parts are to come. We got a lot of footage out there. This part is just the pictures that we took and an explanation and breakdown of them. So it gives you an idea of the layout of Graestone Manor, and it also shows off a lot of the orbs and light anomalies that we caught on camera. So it's very cool to be able to just have a video going through all the pictures of this beautiful bed and breakfast and the incredibly haunted bed and breakfast, and show off the evidence that we got just in the pictures itself. So buckle in to check out a whole boatload of pictures that we took. Thank you to the sponsors for this episodes and our Graestone Manor trip, Steve and Debbie Huzar, as well as Tammy McIntyre, all sponsored the episodes and the trip. Without them, it wouldn't have been as easy to do, so thank you very much. In the future, if you want to be a sponsor for Who's Ghost Stories or even one of our travel episodes, definitely reach out to me. We can work something out and I can let you know all of the different ways you can help out. So big thank you to them. Big thank you to Graestone Manor. Huge thank you to Chris for telling me about the Graestone Manor and getting us over there. So this was definitely a dream spot. I'm happy we got it done. I'm excited to see what spots are going to be coming up next season. This isn't necessarily the end of this season, but next season we're going to have some more trips, more travels that I'm really excited about. But for now, enjoy part 1 of the Graestone Manor. So at the Graestone Manor, we recorded a lot of footage. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. We got multiple hours of video, pictures, audio. We got everything. So I wanted to start off these videos here with a look at some of the pictures we took and do a little bit of a deep dive on some of the cooler ones that we got here in the different anomalies and phenomena that we captured. So this picture was taken during the time Alex and I were recording the intro video. You probably saw the camera flash go off during the video, actually. Oh, by the way, I should mention I'm doing this part live here, so this is actually a screen record. So none of this is scripted, so I apologize for any dog noises, cat noises, any noises of grabbing a drink, anything like that. I thought this would just be best just to go through this live instead of doing it like a presentation like normal. Anyways, back to this picture. So this is the one that was taken during the intro video. And it does a good job of showing off the stairwell here, but is what's kind of cool actually is we did catch a tiny little orb here. Let me zoom in. Right over here by my head. This tiny little orb or light anomaly here. Not sure what could have caused it, but did want to point out this tiny little guy here as we're getting started. These ones on the wall here, you'll see in the next picture they're still here. These are reflections from the chandelier, it appears. But over here, the little speck that was by my head is gone. So that doesn't appear to be a reflection of any sort. So it's kind of cool to have this little anomaly or orb here right as we get started with our first picture. But then in this picture here, you can see the stairwell a little better, how it curves around and goes up, the beautiful woodwork here, and then the cool pictures all throughout the wall. Some are of the mansion throughout its history. Other pictures are of family members and other people who have lived there. This doorway leads into the front room. And this is a mannequin dressed to look like Abraham Lincoln. He was kind of freaky to pass by all the time. But had to show them off here. Let's see, can I rotate this easily? There we go. And these are more pictures of the house throughout the years. These are the same pictures on that wall, actually just zoomed in a little bit. All right, here we go. This picture has multiple orbs in it, and you can already see one right over here. So we'll zoom in on that guy first. But this was a little like parlor room, just shut off the main front room here. Let's get zooming in. And what's really cool about this orb, we've gotten a few like it before, but not a whole lot, is the different colors in here. This is one of those orbs that really looks like an entity or spirit's aura. You've got this dark blue around the edge, fading into a lighter blue, then almost to like a green up here, it looks like around the edge, before going to white, and then like a yellow, red, or orange. So it's really cool to see an orb like that. That's so vibrant and vivid, and it just like a little fireball. So this orb is definitely one of my favorites that we've ever caught. I love the colors of it, the vibrancy of it. It just really looks like a spirit's aura that we can see here. And then zooming out, let's get back in here. Oh, wrong way. Up here is another orb. This one's not nearly as vibrant. This one is like one that we've captured before, where you can just see it along the outline here, and it's actually a little easier to see when you're zoomed out a bit here. But there's this one here. Over here looks to be another faint one. It's really hard to see, so I don't want to say definitively that over here is one, but at least right here, definitely another little orb or anomaly here, definitely more of a translucent one. So whatever this is appears to be stronger and coming through a little more. And then up here, definitely an orb as well, just not as strong and vibrant. So I love when we capture any sort of orbs. You know, we are the orb boys. But getting multiple orbs in one picture is always so fascinating and incredible, and especially at a place like this that is incredibly haunted and has so many spirits living there, to see multiple of them in one picture really got me excited. And as we're zoomed out here, you can kind of see this one a little bit better, but yeah, this one and this one are the main two for sure. Nothing really in this, but this just shows more of the layout of the front room here, where they had this little couch in the window, couch over here, and a couch over here, and a little table. And these pictures were being taken as we were setting everything up. Here, you can see Alex starting to head over towards this couch with his camera. We've got the tripod set up. I can't remember. So up here is something a little interesting. I don't know if it's something or not, but I did want to point it out here. This looks less, and you can kind of see on the clock face too here, less like an orb type of anomaly, and almost more like a haze or a mist. So I did want to point that out because that sticks out on the clock up there, the way it goes straight down to the wall and on the clock face a little bit. It could be from, a reflection or flash for sure, but wanted to point that out because it always sticks out every time I pull up this picture. In later pictures, you'll see we got some cool stuff around these lamps. Moving on. This here's the dining room. So right at the back of the front room, here's the dining room. And this dining room, we were told, has a lot of orb and shadow activity. And back over here is the kitchen. But right here on the curtain, you can see we got an orb. And it's a pretty standard orb. It's another translucent one just hanging out on the curtain here. But what I really like about this one is a lot of orbs can be debated as if they're flashes, if they're specks of dust, um, depending on the area and what it looks like. Investigate it. Everyone has an opinion. But what I like about this one is this one's on an area that's not reflective at all. Uh, it's just a black sheet curtain, a thick curtain, nothing here that would have been reflecting this orb. If you would have had this orb like on this picture or something, people can say that it's a reflection, but this one right here, nothing that would have been reflecting it in that position. So it's really cool that we captured another orb here. Just zoom in on it one more time. And then this is the wall where that picture was just kind of like taken from. You've got this really nice fireplace, these decorations, this taxidermy, and then this is the doorway to the kitchen, and this is that door that goes to where we had those two orbs right away. Another just picture of the couch in that window over there. And here we are getting set back up. And right there on the door, you can see it here as I start zooming in. There's an orb right here. And this one's definitely, translucent like the last one. But this one has a little bluer hue to it. So I was very excited to get this one. We'll zoom out here. I think this is the best depth that you can see it at. So right there in the middle of where my cursor is circling, we've got that nice orb. So again, that one's really cool. Dark door, not reflecting off. So yeah, nice little orb there. Another little spirit coming to say hi. Always very greatly appreciated to get some orbs and pictures. All right, so this one's exciting here. We're back just to looking at the fireplace, but we've got multiple orbs, all of them over here. We've got this big one right here. We'll see if we can zoom in on him specifically. You can already see the other two, but we'll focus on this one. Again, can't be reflecting off anything, but what I like about this one is it's not only translucent and got that kind of like bluish tint to it again, but it like brightens up that spot of the door. Like around here looks darker, and then the orb almost looks brighter, which is really cool to me. And then up here, we got these two orbs. This one's easier to see because you've got the dark door where part of it comes through. Let's see if we can zoom in here. But they've both got that bluish tint to it. So you can see them both. And then right here's the other one. So it's really cool, again, that we not only got an orb in a picture, but we got multiple orbs. And this one's 3 orbs, all of them pretty close together, just within feet of each other. You've got 1, 2, 3. In these two, it's almost kind of funny that they're in a similar position to this little fake tree decoration here. One on top, one up there, and then one down here. There are multiple adults and children that haunt this place. So these could be, 2 orbs of adults and this one of a child, or they could just be spirits just floating around checking us out. I'm out there, so yeah, so it's really cool that we got those orbs right there. Just a picture of the fireplace here, but it's interesting that orbs are gone here in this one. So that helps confirm a little bit. At least there are orbs there in the last one. Nothing here in this picture. Picture of me getting ready to work with the pendulum. Alex getting out the rods. And like I said before, around these lamps we get some cool pictures. Let me zoom in. Sorry, Alex. We're coming over here. Right here in the corner of the picture, on this like black curtain or door frame over here, is this translucent little blue tintish orb again. So it's cool that this is now our 5th orb like this, and 6th orb in this style. And this one's closer to that little side room again. So it's cool that we've had 4 of these types of orbs right around that room, and then the other one was, of course, on the dining room curtain. So it's just really cool that we're getting so many orbs so early here. And at this point, once we start, once we started, working and talking, there was a lot of activity. So it's really cool to see all of these orbs on these pictures. Sorry, I jumped forward there on accident. So we're back here, and is what Megan was doing, smartly so, like you've seen me do in the past, is she was just taking picture after picture, different spots, kind of just moving around, changing her angle, snapping, 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 snapping. So that's why there's so many pictures of the same things over and over again. But it's really good that she did that because she got so many orbs popping in and out of pictures. Including this one here, almost in the boar's mouth, right on the boar's tusk here. No, almost on his tusk. And it's a little translucent with that blue tint like the other ones, but this one's also kind of like that almost like fireball one, where it's got such a vibrant blue along the outside here. So it's really cool that we captured this one too. So yeah, I'd count this one as one of the more vibrant ones compared to those translucent ones, and I really like that its vibrancy really sticks out. You can see it like almost as soon as you open up the picture, it's just wham, what's that up there? And just like the other ones, there's nothing really that it would be reflecting off of in that position. If it was the tusks, I think there would be more. So it's really cool that we got another orb, another vibrant orb in a spot that is pretty confirmable, I'd say is the best word. But I love that we got that orb too. So this one's an interesting picture. Same thing, but you can see up here, whatever that orb was is gone. Reflection off the garbage can here is nothing. The way the camera lights everything up on this one is really cool and a really good picture because you can see here all these things are reflecting, but none of them are creating anything that looks like an orb. Nothing like what we've been looking at and seeing. So this kind of helps just confirm and verify that what we did capture were orbs. It looks like these lights are lighting up a little bit, but nothing is looking vibrant. Nothing's got that translucent look. So this is a really cool picture just to help verify some of the other things that we've been seeing. And again, over here, no orbs again, nothing on this door. That boar's tusk. Let's go to the next one. Just a picture of the room here. Here's me working with the pendulum, talking with the spirits to see if they wanted to do anything with cards or if they just wanted the pendulum, kind of seeing what they wanted here. And I love just seeing the pendulum just fly around like it does. All right. So we're getting into 2 of my favorite pictures here. This one, there's no orbs or anything really over here. Nothing really sticks out, but I've talked to Megan and multiple people. The shadow on my head just looks really weird. It looks almost too dark or too deep or too pronounced compared to the shadow coming off my arm here and the shadow coming off my torso, shadow off my shoulder. Like, this shadow just looks very different than this shadow. And I know you can see my portfolio. My profile in the shadow here, like my way my eyes go in. But there's just something that looks off about my shadow up here at my head compared to the rest of my shadow. I've said before, we're not 1,000%, expert, like photography experts, shadow experts, things like that. So the whole time could definitely just be an odd picture of my shadow, but I wanted to point that out because I still think it's weird. This picture's taken right after that. I'm walking over this way towards here. No orbs back over here. However, there is one trailing me right here. You can see it right there plastering my shirt. So it's cool. There's an orb on me, kind of walking with me, following me there. As I get here to this door, that orb is gone, and instead, there's one on the ceiling up here. And this orb, let me see how well we can zoom in here, is really cool because it's got that like translucentness to it. But on this one, you can see a little color definition to it. You've got like a light reddish or orangish here before it goes into that like bluish tint. See if zooming out lets it see a little bit better. But yeah, so that's a really cool orb to have. And it's really cool to have that one on the ceiling because we haven't had anything up there yet. We've had a lot around this door, which again, nothing over here, but we've had around this door, the dining room a little bit, and now to have it up here, it's really cool to me. Interesting too that it's on the ceiling, that a ghost is floating around up there. But then this picture. This is where I was standing. And this is where I said my shadow looked off and my shadow looked different. This big black anomaly here. Could we have captured a shadow person in the middle of something? Definitely. Is this just the orb of something stronger and darker? There is an entity in the basement here that's not human. People aren't sure if it's an angel or something dark or if it's some sort of guardian, because it's a very Native American heavy property and land as well throughout history. So we don't really know what's down there, but it's super interesting that just a few pictures after this where my shadow just looks weird, looks too dark, looks too deep. A few pictures later, we captured this. Well, Megan captured this. So I still think my shadow looked weird in that picture, and I think it was whatever this thing was, just hanging out there. I can't really explain it. I don't have answers, but it's interesting in this picture that these two orbs are back, right over here by these trees. So that's definitely interesting and cool, but I think the biggest takeaway is just whatever this is that was hanging out behind my head. Megan took this picture because she was feeling something grabbing her foot and her ankle down here. Here I am working the pendulum. I was being led around the room. This is that side room. So right through here, using the pendulum, I got led through this door, and I'm in here talking with a spirit. And we do have videos of these, so you'll get to see the video footage as well that shows what we're what we're doing and what we're saying. And while we were in here, I was directed to go into the closet here to hang out with a ghost. A ghost really enjoyed playing with the pendulum. We're pretty sure it was a child. Sorry, Archie has been trying to climb up onto me, and he just got up onto me. So in this picture here, I'm just turning on the camera to record while I'm in the closet here, playing around with the pendulum and this child spirit. At one point, the pendulum actually broke open, and my moldavite crystal spilled out. First time that's ever happened on an investigation from a ghost playing with it. So I thought that was just really interesting, and you'll see in the video the kid was really making it go really, really fast. So just adjusting to hang out in the closet a little more with the kid here. And we were able to borrow a rod from Alex to let him play with the rod as well. And back out here, Alex is playing with his rod. But right up here, we've got a real nice light anomaly or orb. Yeah. Drag this up here, right here. And this is a nice, I'll call it thick for lack of a better term, but it's not faded or translucent like the other ones. This one definitely stands out on these red walls. This one's almost like a full white. It doesn't have much translucentness to it at all. There's a bit like over here, you can see it kind of fading into the wall, but right here is vibrant, strong white. So whatever this was definitely either, stronger spirit or was using the energy from our devices and the crystals that we had going on to really, really pop up here. And then this is in the child's room with all these creepy dolls and a cat that was laying on the bed. And people bring these dolls and donate them and let the child spirits, keep them. We had a lot of fun in this room. You'll see some videos from there. Right here, took a picture out into the dark hallway, into this dark bathroom. This wasn't always a bathroom across the hall. It was like a servant's kitchenette. At one point, that was turned into a bathroom. And it's really cool here that we got a orb right here on that doorway. And I like too that it's a dark area, so the orb sticks out a little more, especially since it's one of those translucent ones that really is faded and can be difficult to see sometimes. So I'm really happy that at least it was a darker area, so the orb stuck out really, really well. And even zoomed out, you can still see it pretty good. And then there's, with the flash turned on, to show that Alex is indeed sitting in there with his rods. These cups were put up there, and you could ask the spirits to turn them and play with them, which we do. You'll get to see videos of those. This is the red room, one of the bedrooms, and in this room, we did an Estes session with myself. So right here, this is a good picture. Add some switch on my screen there. I know it's blurry, but that's fine. We're not really looking for any details in this one, but this one just kind of shows you some things that are in the room. And in the next picture, we have 3 orbs. We got a vibrant one here, small vibrant one here, and a little faded one here. One here. Well, let me go back here to see. Yes. And there are these like little specks here. These are so bright and vibrant that they could be orbs and light anomalies, but it's so small that it's hard for me to tell. And I really don't want to we had so many orbs in activity. I don't want to start claiming everything's an orb without being able to see it a little better. So there is that one, and then there's a couple more here. So these three, they could be the orbs. They could be the orbs that are coming in the next picture, just a little smaller in size right away, or this could be different orbs. But regardless, in this one, they've grown, so you can definitely see them. And then there's this guy here too. But let's try to zoom in up here. And yeah, up here is kind of like the very first orb we looked at in that the very first one, but that very first vibrant orb we looked at. And what's cool about this one is it's so different colored and textured. It almost looks like a peephole, like you're looking through the wall into something else. There's this like blue or purple base layer here, the whiteness, and it's just a really cool orb. I'm really happy we captured that one. It was me making faces. So we got this orb here, another little translucent faded one. This could be one here, but it's so faded I can't tell if that's just my screen or not. This one up here you can see better. And then there's this one, this thing here again. The last picture had that little speck that I said was tough to tell what it was. Since it pops up in this one and it's moved and a little bit different, I'm more willing to say it's a light anomaly orb. Archie has one of his balls, so I apologize for the squeaking you are inevitably hearing. This is just the doorway out of that room. Over here is really cool. Let me get zoomed in here. So you can't really tell, but this is actually a signature on the wall. One of the children that used to live there before they painted over the wall, they signed it before they put the wallpaper up. Not painted over it, my mistake. Before they put the wallpaper up, they signed the wall. So they actually have one of the children's signature right here on the wall. So they put this nice little frame around it. But just some timely pictures and dolls for the hallway out here. And then this is inside the room. Here's a picture of me in the SD session. So when you see the video of the session, it'll make a little more sense here, but I'll explain a little bit. So, what the Estes is you take a spirit box and you plug in sound canceling headphones, put those on, and then you put something over your eyes, a blindfold, or in this case, the one GhostTube app we have, it has a built-in VR sensory deprivation mode. So I put these on, I put my phone in here, and I turn that app on, and you can set it different colors. They have different things behind them. They have different methods behind the different options you could pick here. So that's what's over my face, and then the headphones plugged into the ghost box here. So the idea is the people with you, Alex and Megan in this case, they ask the ghosts questions. They ask them all sorts of different questions. Are there men and women in here? How many spirits are in here? Things like that. And then the idea is these spirits then talk through the spirit box, and the sensory deprivation of it all makes it easier for the listener, in this case me. Alex does a session himself later on. It makes it easier for them to hear the spirits and pick up what they're saying. So that's what's going on here. So I know it looks a little weird, but I just wanted to kind of explain what's going on. And in this picture, we have a possible orb right over here. This is like that small translucent one that was up towards the corner a couple pictures ago. We have one here with the amount of orbs coming up. I'm pretty sure this one's an orb here. It's just a little faded and translucent yet. You can see it better zoomed out right there. But then, as the session goes on, all heck started breaking loose. And we've got this big orb right here. Nice, thick white one. We've got this little orb right here. Another little, like, vibrant white one. Over here. I don't want to count every little thing as an orb. Like, this is a mirror. So, the mirror shows a whole boatload of reflections. I don't know if these are all orbs, if just this one is, or what. So with so many reflective items over here, I don't want to get too in depth with those. But when you do zoom in and poke around over here, we've got this little orb right here. And this one's not on a reflective surface, so I'm pretty confident in counting this one. If we go back a picture, it kind of helps prove kind of like that this mirror thing, whatever this gold bar is here, is probably the culprit for these gold reflections up here. And in this picture, the orbs are gone. So it's really cool, the picture right after it. And this one's out of like a little out of focus on me too, which I think is pretty cool. But we've got this orb, 1, 2, 3 for sure. Some of these over here could definitely be orbs. Especially, where are these? Are these boots? Yeah, especially like what was on these boots over here. If we go back a picture, these could be orbs over here, but the items over there are just so reflective in general that I really just wanted to count these ones. The one I am also looking at here, right here, little power light. In that picture, this could be just from the power light. And I feel pretty confident in that because it fades behind my finger, just like the power light in the next picture. But we do at least, like I said, have this big thick orb, little thick orb, and then this little guy over here, which I'm really stoked about. And then in this picture, we got quite a few orbs. We got this one coming around my belly here. This little translucent blue tinted guy. What's cool about this one? I know sometimes when we zoom in, it loses the orb's focus here, so we'll see if it works. Yeah, okay, we can see it still a little bit. Around the edges of this one, I'll put my mouse on the inside of it here. So around the outside of my mouse, you can almost see like a reddish or orangish hue. So this one's kind of got like multiple colors going on here on my black shirt. You've got like the reddish orangish hue on the outside before it goes to that blue tint around the middle. Then, of course, we've got this nice thick one right here on the headboard. And I like that this one, it's got some color to it. It's not just the white, it's kind of got that blue tint, but also kind of some other colors mixed in, it looks like here. So I really like this orb. It's a nice thick one that sticks out pretty easily. And then we have a little faded one here that you can barely see. This little one here. You can see kind of these two things here on the headboard. When you zoom out, you can see these two a little bit better. There's this discoloration here. you see it when it's zoomed out a little bit. Since it's so different from the orbs, I don't necessarily want to count it, but I did kind of want to point that out there in case your eyes were drawn there. Um, like these orbs just look so different. I'm not sure, but we've got this one on my belly, this one on the headboard, and then these three here where we got 1, 2, and 3. And then up here, there's this thing right on the side of the frame. That could definitely be an orb as well. See a little better up there. Let's see. Oh, all right. So in this one, we've got these 4 little light balls here. Like I've said in the past ones, it's hard to tell when the camera gets out of focus. The reflections on the items really stands out, so it's hard to tell if these are just reflections off the picture frames or not. But I did want to point them out here because in the next picture they're gone. Um, yeah, so you can see here they're gone in this picture, so they could have been. I don't know. It's hard to say, but right here, it looks like we've got a faded one, a little faded orb here, and then right here, another possible one. So it's kind of cool. You can kind of see him when it's zoomed out a little bit here. This translucent guy and this translucent guy, both hanging out above the bed still. And this room did have quite a few people that lived in it throughout the years, and you'll be able to watch the video of the session to see exactly what we were experiencing and asking. But I do like that we got another orb here around the bed and one up here as I'm hanging out in the bed. So Megan was taking a picture of where Alex was. This is I think this is the window that we were told during the history. A lady that lived there really liked standing in front of and looking out. But over here, probably already see it and you're waiting for me to talk about it, is this orb right here, and then this one up here. Ugh. All right, come on. So we'll start with this one here. So this one's definitely a little faded, a little more translucent, a little pretty much all white. But I really like that these both are so close together because you can see how on the dark door frame, this one is so thick and vibrant and really sticks out. And then this one over here where it's a little lighter and it's over the wall and near the pictures, this one's a little more faded, a little more translucent. And this one here, you kind of got all white, almost like maybe like a grayish tint to it. You can see the door frame through it, and then this one appears to have a little bit of a whitish tint, maybe a light blue, but another couple of orbs there that you can see. One here, and then of course this one really standing out. And then Megan taking a selfie there. She might hate that made it in the video. And then I'm happy she took this picture coming back to me because you can kind of see where the orbs were in the past pictures. There's nothing that would stand out as causing them. It's like where these ones were all along the headboard, like there's no scuffs on the headboard here, no like marks on the walls. Up through here, like everything looks fine. So it's kind of confirmation that we got those orbs. So the picture's just a few inches to the right, taken immediately after it. We've got some orb activity back. We've got, so I really am happy this orb popped back up, as well as this one did right by my head. And this one's kind of cool because it's almost like in line and close to my ear, almost like the ghost is actively trying to talk to me here. So it's kind of cool that we got these two orbs close to each other. There's this one over here above this picture frame. All three are kind of similar styles here. They're all translucent, all more whitish. This one has a little bit of a blue tint, maybe. This one's definitely white, and this one's maybe got a little tint, but I think this one's all white too. So we got these three translucent orbs across different areas, two of them near the bed, and this one, especially right here next to my ear, is just so cool. Oop. Jumped ahead there. Yeah, 3 orbs in that picture. And this is coming back downstairs in the dining room. I really love this Ouija board, table runner, tablecloth thing that we got here. They did a fantastic job decorating the house, as you can tell, with the taxidermy and the pictures and decorations, all pretty time period accurate, which makes it all the cooler when you're there. Then let me zoom in here a little bit. We did capture a little orb on this one. Zoom in. Right here on the door. And this one's cool because this is one of the doors where it's reported to see a lot of shadow people. So it's really cool that we captured an orb here on that door. Behind that door is a bathroom, and there's a mirror right on the other side of this door. And that mirror, you can see the reflection of a lot of ghosts and spirits walking around the area. So yeah, so we got that little orb right there on the door. Just another picture here, and you can see in this one that orb is gone. And there's nothing in that spot that would have been causing the orb or being confused for an orb. And then this is a picture from Alex's Estes session down in the basement. This is a wicker casket that they were showing off what they looked like back in the day. As you can tell, Alex wasn't comfortable with the VR headset. He was worried just about the comfortability of the headset itself, plus being that close to the screen, getting like motion sickness here. So he went with just a regular blindfold and then the headphones plugged into the ghost box here. So cool story here. I'm not sure if it's on camera because it was at the end, but this 8-track record combo has an 8-track tape in it. And towards the end of Alex's SD session, you'll hear him say John or Johnny. And we were trying to ask who Johnny was, and then Alex is like, I have to tap out soon, guys. And when I was standing next to this machine, I looked down, and the 8-track tape here, 8-track tape here is a Johnny Cash tape. My gosh, I can't talk right now. Is a Johnny Cash tape. So it's really cool that through the ghost box, Alex got John or Johnny, and then immediately as I'm standing there next to him, I look over and it's a Johnny Cash tape in there. So we did play a few Johnny Cash songs through my phone, just in case if they were Johnny Cash fans. This is the other side of that basement room. And already you can see some orb action in this picture. We've got this one right here on the rafters, this pretty big translucent, that bluish hue on this one. And then right here, this smaller one that's still translucent, but it's a little more vibrant. And then there's this here. Where this is positioned, it's close to where this like jangly hangly decoration was, but it's far enough away that this isn't part of the decoration. So we got those orbs up there. And then down here on the pool table, we got an orb here. And that's cool because eventually I do start playing with the pool balls there. But just wanted to show off those orbs up here. This one, I went to the next picture to see if I could kind of tell if anything's there. So let's zoom in together here. So the orb appears between one of these two beads. Oop, where am I at? Here I am. Right here. All right. So the reason I zoomed in is when you've got rafters like this, you don't know where a nail is and things like that. All of these are reflective, so I'm not going to count any of those, but this one here, there's no bead here, and there doesn't appear to be a nail there, so that's an interesting one. I'm going to put a question mark on that one as a plausible or possibility. It's so vibrant, it matches these almost perfectly, so that's what makes me a little hesitant to stamp it as an orb 100%, but it's interesting that it's there when there's nothing that would really be making that reflection here. And here's me. This is a giant deer's head they had there above the 8-track tape. We're back with Alex here. Let's see. Right here. It looks like it's almost highlighting this little spindly decoration here. We've got this big orb here. And let's see. Do we have a picture after it? Yeah. Here you can tell that these planks aren't really discolored that way. There's not a big circle right here that would cause that discoloration. Scanning around here. So yes, we come back here. We've got this little circle here and this little one here. So it's definitely cool and interesting. Got some possible orbs there. Let's see here on the elephant tapestry. There's an orb here. Let's see if we can zoom in on it a little bit. Yeah, right here. So this is another one that's translucent, but it's got that like bluish hue to it. So you can really see it kind of stand out against that dark tapestry right there. Here's a better picture of that whisker casket with the mannequin they had in it just to display. Another picture of the pool table here. And I like this picture because we got this orb. And you can see how translucent it is with that bluish tint, bluish hue. And then right here you can see debris and scuffs on the pool table itself. But I like this picture because when I was first looking through them, I was worried that some of these orbs on the pool table were just scuffs. But in this picture, you can see how different it looks from the different scuffs and marks on the pool table. So it's really cool that we got that nice little vibrant orb there sticking out. And these were the little dangly decorations I was mentioning when I was talking about the orb that popped up over here. I was really excited for this, thinking that this was some kind of mist coming in, but after further investigation through the pictures, I'm pretty sure it's just the reflection of these dangly things here. So you'll see this pop up in a few pictures. I wouldn't think too much of it just because these are right here. This is perfect angle for a reflection. Megan took this picture low here of the pool balls. There's this little thing here, could be a little bit of an orb, as well as this bright blue mark here. As we were in the bedroom and, the picture was out of focus and all those reflections came off, I pointed those out as not really thinking they're orbs. This one, I lean more towards orb or some sort of phenomena just because of how vibrant and blue it is, but also because that mark doesn't appear anywhere else on these balls that like a camera flash would. Um, like this one here looks to be that that's weird. Like right here on this ball, this is a reflection. Right here's a reflection. Right here's a reflection. Right here's a reflection. This looks nothing like any of these. The closest it looks to is this one here, because it's like a bright condensed one, but this has such a coloration to it and such a different coloration that this one sticks out, and I'm more willing to say that this one is some sort of phenomena or orb. Back in here, there's one I wanted to take a look at. Yeah, like this here definitely just looks like a light reflection. That's probably just a light reflection too, but I don't know. Something about this just sticks out to me. So vibrant and blue, and even when you zoom in more, you can even see like where like it breaks up a bit. Like you've got strand like white breaking through here, dark blue. So it's just really cool, stands out. I think this is some sort of phenomena orb. Down here looks like another one. So those are really cool to see here. And on here, let's see. It looks like we got some more reflections on balls, so we can see what they kind of look like here. This one's interesting. We'll check that one out. Same with that one and these two. But yeah, this right here, this is a light reflection. This is a light reflection. This is a light reflection. I'd even say this is a light reflection here. This is something on the table. Well, let's zoom in and take a look at these 3 dots here and see what they kind of look like. So this one has a similar shape to this. And a similar color. So I'd lean towards this one being some sort of light reflection over here. It could one thing that gives it a little credibility as a possible orb is when you zoom in a little more, it gets more transparent than this. Like this is solid white through, and it gets transparent around the edges as it disperses a little bit. This one is just transparent right here in the middle. So it's kind of almost all a little transparent and translucent. So possible, not sure with it being especially so close to that other one. But it also just stands out differently the more I look at it. So I'm on the fence on this one. This one could be an orb here. Definitely you can draw your own conclusions on it, but I'm almost thinking it's some sort of phenomena. This little one's interesting. So this one looks mostly white with a little shade. So this one might just be some sort of weird reflection. I thought it had a little more color when I was zoomed out. But with it being there's one there too. So yeah, this one might just be a reflection. And lastly, let's take a look at this guy here. Ooh, okay. So this one I'm the most confident this one being some sort of orb or phenomena because look how translucent it is. You can almost see all the orange through it. Whereas like this light reflection here, solid light reflection, and then it gets translucent around the outside. With that being a reflection, it still could be a reflection. So definitely you can draw your conclusions on these two here. I think everything else in here is a light reflection for sure. I feel a little more confident in this one being some sort of phenomena or orb than this one, but with all the reflections, it's really hard for me to be definitive here in this one. I was playing with the dice and the rod on the table in this picture. These are all the boozes that have been donated to the spirit that lives down in the basement because it loves its some alcohol. So we didn't realize that was an offering that we could bring, but really cool orb right next to my head. almost looks like, again, like when I was on the bed, the ghost is trying to talk to me, talking in my ear, or in this instance, he's looking over my shoulder down at what I'm looking at. I just find that fascinating and I love it, but I'm very happy that we captured this orb. And when you zoom in on it, definitely translucent, but it's got more of that like blue tint to it, which is fascinating and kind of has that almost like a yellowish edge around the outside. Let's see if there's anything else in this one here before I moved on. I didn't really take a look elsewhere, just at that one. Oh, just that one sticking out. And like I've said, if you see anything in these pictures that I may have missed, definitely leave a comment letting us know. Oh, we definitely got something up here in this corner, so I just came back to see if there was anything there in the previous picture. There was not. So, of course, I leave the room. Oop. The orb that's here is now gone. And then in its place is this orb. And since it's on that black pipe, this is another really vibrant one that's got like that translucentness to it where you can see through it to the pipe. But then, especially around the edges here, it's nice and vibrant to really stand out and pop. So it's really cool that we captured that orb there. This is just back over to Alex. And this one's a nice picture because, again, here you don't have that discoloration or anything here from that one orb we had. Nothing here either. So helps just confirm the other orbs that we saw. This is us getting set up to do our Ouija table session, spirit table session. Zoom in here. So this was a really cool session. I'm not sure exactly how much of it's going to make it into the videos because there was some sort of like air conditioning system or heating system on that was messing with some of the audio. So we'll see what we're able to put in here. But we got an orb right here, an orb right here, an orb right here, and an orb right here. So we'll take a minute to zoom in on each of them. So this one's cool. It pops out a little more here. It's still a little transparent here, but it's got this nice bright streak going through it and a nice bright border around. So it really sticks out amongst the doors. And you can see it actually pop up between two of the nails. So it's not just like a reflection of one of the nails there. This one here is really cool because of my black shirt. You can really see it because it's really a faded orb. But once you see it here, you could trace the outline around here. But it's really cool that we got this one that's almost like touching me and hanging out with me as I was setting up the camera over here to get ready for the session. And then coming down, this one sticks out because it's over my dark jeans. Another little faded, transparent one. And then this one. This one is my favorite one in the picture because it's faded and translucent in the middle, but it's like almost like a magnifying glass, like the shape of it and how it sticks out. And it's got this, I don't want to zoom in too much because I know we're going to lose resolution. You can see it here on the strap. It's got like this yellow outline, this yellow border. So again, like that one of the earlier orbs we looked at, I said it was like an aura, and this one's kind of the same way here, where it's got that just thick, colorful border around the transparent middle here. So it's really cool to have these orbs just bam, 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 bam. And through this door is another door that heads to the outside, and this is an incredibly haunted and spirited area. So right here on the steps is another orb. What's cool about this one is the risers were put in because there was a spirit that would hang out below the steps and it would reach through and grab people's ankles as they were coming down. So to have the orb kind of located right where there's a history of a ghost trying to grab people's legs is really fascinating to me because it kind of shows that the ghost hasn't left that spot and they still claim it as their own, most likely. But it's still just kind of hanging out on the steps. You could also argue that it could be like a child spirit, like sitting on the steps and just watching, seeing what we're doing. And then over here on this black curtain, you've got a couple translucent and faded orbs here. And these ones are definitely, more transparent, more translucent here. You can see through them, but they've got like this bluish hue that helps them stick out like other orbs we've had. So it's really cool. We got one here chilling on the step, and then these two. And the angle of these two looks like they're almost watching us through the camera. Like they're observing us or directing us, um, watching us how things go, and just watching everything through the camera. Right. And that's actually the last picture from this camera here. This was the little red camera Megan had. And then these were all taken down in the basement just using our little 4K camera. I don't think we got any orbs when using this camera, but I wanted to pull it out just to kind of show some different shots of the basement here in a little different lighting and setup. Megan over there by the TV, making sure the camera was set up okay. But yeah, so nothing really that was like sticking out on these ones, but it also helps to have these from a different camera to see if there would have been anything where the orbs were showing up that would have been causing them. So it was nice to have these pictures to go back and just kind of double check that our assumptions were correct. This is the hallway that leads out to that little spirit table. This was another creepy mannequin they had set up there. Some really blurry pictures. This here is the camera that we were using that we captured all those orbs on. Up here, every time I look at this, my eyes are drawn to this, but these are clearly just reflections on whatever bowls those are. There's a mannequin's head up there looking at us creepily. Now, we haven't gotten much use out of it before. We've only seen it a couple times, but these are pictures from our little ghost cam that sees in ultraviolet. It's a full spectrum camera, but I got some night vision lights that would make it work a little bit better here. So Alex was just snapping these throughout. And I like showing these ones off because they help confirm the other orbs that we had, by just brightening up the area to show that there's nothing that could have been causing reflections in some of the areas. And it also just brightens up some darker places that the other pictures didn't really have a chance to capture. Unfortunately, I don't think we got anything on this camera. So we're still waiting to capture our first entity with the ghost cam. It'll happen. It'll happen someday. I know it. I'm confident. That's weird. Just a weird angle of the sconce. Confident this camera will pick up something good someday. It's just still waiting on it. This was another one of the bedrooms. I think this was the green room. Another very, very haunted room. I went through fast there. So these are all the same room here. And all these rooms are incredibly spirited. They all have their own. Alright, so the last few pictures we'll go through are definitely interesting. So this is behind that like blast door near the spirit table here. This is the area there. And a lot of people have gotten some really interesting pictures and phenomena in their pictures when taking photos back here. So I wanted to make sure Alex and I got a picture back here. And, of course, the light made it difficult to take this picture. Megan's trying to get the focus back because Alex's face is just gone. You can see my face here, at least the features of it, the mouth, the beard, the eyes, the eyebrows. Alex just has no face. Which is really interesting. As you zoom in, you can kind of see where his face should be. Let's see what happens if we play around with it a little bit here, see if we can get anything to pop up. Because a lot of people, when they take pictures down here or selfies with other people, what happens is spirits blur out one of their faces a lot. So let's see if we play in. Well, we gotta make sure we're zoomed in. And then play around with the stuff here to see what we can get. So you can see kind of a little bit of Alex's mouth here. Whoop. Let's change the exposure. Same kind of results. I think all we're doing is making him look creepier. But interesting still, you still really can't see any of his features compared to being able to see mine still. That did nothing. That did nothing. Try one more here to see if it changes anything. So yeah. No real editing can be done there, and if I wouldn't have seen the other pictures that people have taken where their faces have just been completely just wiped out or morphed or changed, I would think nothing of it, but it is definitely weird that at least this light here seems to have completely taken away Alex's face and left mine. So, those are most of the pictures that we took at the Graestone Manor. I think there are still some more on our cell phones, but I think they're pretty similar to what we have here. I don't think there's anything that stands out on the cell phones that we'll have to go through, but if I'm looking through everything a 15th time and I notice something, I'll definitely throw it in here too, but that does it for the pictures. I hope you enjoyed looking at them this way. There was just so many of them and so many cool things and so many orbs and phenomena in the pictures that I didn't want to do it as the normal presentation style in the video. I want to do it a little more breakdowny and a little more live here. So thank you for watching this part of the Graestone Manor. I hope you enjoyed it. I still don't know how many parts everything's going to come out into. Like I said, we got a lot of footage, a lot of video out there. So make sure to keep checking back in for more of the Graestone Manor. Thank you all again for checking out part 1 of the Graestone Manor. I hope you all enjoyed checking out the pictures of this amazing place at the Graestone Manor. Make sure to come back to see the rest of the episodes about Graestone Manor. And I mentioned in there that we did the Estes method. If you watch the videos and you like the spirit box that we used here, it is the one that's off of Ghost Shop. You can use our link below to go pick up your own spirit box and talk to ghosts with it. It works as a regular spirit box where it just picks up the radio frequencies and brings through the spirits through there, but you can also use it for EVP recording. It has a little record feature on there too, so fantastic device. Also has a built-in flashlight, which is always needed when you're checking out places in the middle of the night. But that does it for this episode. Thank you again to our sponsors, Steve and Debbie Huzar and Tammy McIntyre. Make sure to come back next time for some more, but until then, stay in the light.